So we're doing the A's, B's, C's, and D's. C is for consistency. Be consistent. The key to farming is consistency. Everything about farming has to do with consistency. We have to be consistent in everything that we do, from branding to marketing to visiting businesses to our online presence, social media, being a local market expert. Everything that we talk about in this course is nothing without it being done consistently. Former Rhode Island Governor Lincoln Chafee says trust is built with consistency. And I agree. Your goal is to create a trusted audience for your brand and to consistently share area market stats and knowledge. We need to be consistent in our activity. If you're not doing it consistently, you won't be trusted. If you're not doing it consistently, your market stats and knowledge will be outdated. If you're not doing it consistently, your crop won't be as impressive. Make the decision now to strive for consistency and time blocking for farming, and you'll blow your clients' expectations out of the water. But beyond just being consistent in activity, we want to be consistent with our look and feel. Our marketing pieces and campaigns shouldn't look like they were designed by 43 different graphic designers at 47 different times. We want a consistent look and feel. Our voice should be consistent. Our character should be consistent. Some companies create a style guide to stay consistent. We've done that on the Klaus team. They identify which fonts they use, what colors they use, and they try to be consistent with those. Branding, marketing, farming, they all work best with consistency of action, look, and feel. So if you're going to brand yourself, you do want a logo, even if it's just a consistent way that you use your name. And that's a logo, by the way, the consistent way you present yourself. It doesn't have to come from a graphic designer, but there is a rule. To be effective, your name in the logo must be instantly recognizable and instantly readable. You want people to instantly read your brand name, and we want it to be recognizable instantly. That's why we use color and logos and icons and things like that. We don't want to make them have to squint to figure out your brand name. Instantly recognizable, instantly readable. And your taste is not the infallible guide to what's effective too. If you love it but they can't read it, your logo might be pretty, but it's not doing its job as a brand identity, and therefore it's costing you money. A bad logo will cost you money. If they can't figure out who you are, you're not going to get business from it, and you've lost all that business that you would have had if your logo was just your name in a bold Arial font. Don't let something that you think is pretty cost you business. Ask for people to give you feedback. Unique fonts are great, but we want the consumer to be able to see it, read it, and understand it as they drive by. So we like the concept of your name in a second. They should be able to read your name in a second. So how do you get a logo? There's a couple great resources out there. First, just contact your local high school, community college, or university. They have a graphic design department or an art department. Let them know you're having a contest with, just say like $200, $250 prize for a logo you select. Let them know the type of logo you want, colors, all those things we talked about, and let the students design it. It's great to integrate the local element into your design, and you get a little extra PR along the way if you use a local designer. Now there's local graphic designers who'll do it for you, and sometimes some of your printers or your partners like your title agency, they might have some marketing folks on standby to help you with it too. But for the custom look, if you don't want to use the local college, you can go to places like Fiverr.com, that's Fiverr.com, or a logo design company like 99 Designs or Logotournament.com. And those sites allow you to set a prize amount and tell designers what you want. Designers from around the world compete to design your logo, and you give them feedback along the way, and then at the end of the contest, you pick a winner, pay I think it's like $2.99 for a logo, and download your files, and you have full ownership of the logo and the files. And Fiverr is a freelance company, so you can find people for cheap. Now, let's talk about color. National firms put a lot of thought into color, and sometimes it's a purely scientific decision. Other times it's because the founder liked the color, like with Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg just liked that color blue. But there's usually a color combination that brands use. Advertisers, interior decorators, brand managers, everyone has done studies, and they continue to do studies on how people react to color. And let me tell you, color matters. Kissmetrics is a marketing and analytics blog, and they did a test where web visitors were given the same call to action, but half of them had a green button to push and half of them had a red button to push. Everything else was identical. And the red button outperformed the green button by 21%. Color matters. So here's a graphic that comes from the logo company. These are some of the things that just the color of the brand communicate. You notice that not all the brands equate with what the colors communicate, and all three words may not be there, but the basic concept generally is true. When we see red, it's bold, there's excitement. Green has a level of peace about it and growth, because green things grow, and there's an eco sense with green. Yellow and orange lift the spirit. The science of color doesn't need to drive the color selection, but we should probably pay attention to it, because we don't want to confuse potential clients by having conflicting messages just from our color. So let's move on. We also want to be consistent with a call to action. Call us, visit our website, download our app, come to our office, come to our event, comment, share, search the MLS on our site, click here. Whatever the call to action is, there needs to be a call to action. At least 2 is even better. Be consistent with a call to action. Don't just imprint your logo on stuff. Include a call to action. Some of the best calls to action are home valuation sites. And some of you may have home valuation lead capture in your IDX. Some people use a third-party solution. Most of our new listing leads, not past clients, referrals, or Sphere, but most of the listing leads we get, they come from our home valuation site that we drive traffic to from our newsletter. People love the instant valuation range. There's a lot of options out there, but the key to all of them is follow up. Follow up on those leads. Partials and nurtures are gold. Even if they just put in their address, that's fine. We'll still find a way to get in touch with them. But call to action is vital. So authentic, embrace slow growth by going bit by bit, be consistent, and D is for deliberate. We want to be deliberate. We want to have at least a 1-year plan of action before we start. We want to commit to a 1-year marketing budget before we even start. I'm sure some of you are wanting to get a great idea to try once and see how it works. And if it goes well, maybe we'll decide diving into farming, but it doesn't work like that. You just trying one thing to see how it goes is called a prospecting activity, and tons of agents do it, tons. They might get a lead or two, but if there's nothing consistent about it, it's not farming. It might be hobby gardening, but not farming. Farmers dig in. Farmers are there for the long haul. Farmers invest in their crop. They don't just throw a couple seeds on some dirt and come back in a couple hours to pick up their corn. We want to be deliberate.